The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
It's hard to explain just how bad things are for Disney's live-action Snow White, even for someone like me that's been covering the disaster around this film for years. Even I didn't see it becoming this bad. Every single report we are getting at the box office has been worse than expected, and it was already expected to be worse. But now we're talking about all-time bad numbers, maybe even around the Marvel's worldwide box office. And if you remember how bad of a problem that was for Disney, that's where we are. So right here, Snow White crashed and burned, about to feel the heavy weight of that B+ at U.S. box office after Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot grossed just $3.7 million on the second Friday, dropping a harsh 77% from the last Friday opening day. Eyeing a 12 to 15 million 3-day weekend for a 72%, 65% drop, somewhere in that range. And we're talking next level right here. This is OMB Reviews, Odin. The Marvels reached about 161 million globally by the end of its second weekend. Right now, Snow White is at $100 million. Though I do think it will end up beating the Marvels domestically, the international totals are awful and likely will go the way of Marvels. Unless we see some kind of recovering in the Saturday-Sunday numbers, we could absolutely see Snow White making as much as the Marvels, if not less.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
Holy crap. Now, if you remember, the Marvels made $206 million at the worldwide box office. This was the sequel to Captain Marvel, which made over $1 billion at the box office, if you remember, because it was one of the most protected movies we've ever seen because of the strategic way that they released it, which, again, there's nothing wrong with strategy and how you're going to release films in order to maximize the profits and everything like that. But that's what a lot of fans said about the success for Captain Marvel, is that it really wasn't about the success of Captain Marvel. It was about the strategic way that Marvel released that film, and they did a good job with it. But the follow-up shows you how much no one actually cared about Captain Marvel. $206 million massive flop from Disney and Marvel, and that is where we could be heading for Snow White. Right here, box office upset, blue-collar drama, a working man declares victory over Snow White. Disney isn't standing down just yet and says the race is too early to call, even if the troubled movie is falling off a steep 65% or more in its second outing. Now, again, if you go and look at a lot of the reviews for Disney's Snow White, it has right now a 1.5 on IMDb. I don't know if you can see that, but it has a 1.5 right here on IMDb. If I can pull this up right here. 1.5 right now on IMDb. If you go to the lowest rated movies in history, Snow White right now, based on what we're looking at right here, Snow White would rank in the top 5 most disliked movies in history on IMDb. That is how bad things are. You go over to Rotten Tomatoes, and of course, yes, you have the 29% from top critics. You have a 41% from all critics. You have a verified audience score of 74%. But when you look at the all audience score, you're looking at a 19% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. If you go over to Metacritic, you have a 1.2 out of 10 audience score over there. Valiant Renegade posted this: Snow White equals nuclear bomb. And that's exactly what is happening. So all of the hatred that Rachel Zegler has put out there against anyone that disagrees with her, the negative things that she has said about President Trump, the negative things she has said about the iconic film Snow White, 1937 animated classic that literally saved the Walt Disney Company and basically gave Walt Disney the opportunity to create this massive empire that he created. But Rachel Zegler wanted to let everyone know how much she despised that movie.
Yeah. Weird.
And she wanted to let everyone know that this was all about girl power. She has done so much damage to this movie. Now, you're seeing a narrative out there about Gal Gadot, because the Rachel Zegler weirdos out there are trying to say that Gal Gadot destroyed this film. I think Gal Gadot was terrible in this movie, so I'm not trying to take up for Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot doesn't have that type of hatred out there at all. I don't think she's a great actress, but she's also just not a horrible human being like Rachel Zegler is. So they can spin that narrative all they want, but Rachel Zegler and her fans are very active on social media. Yet they don't seem to want to actually go see any of the movies that they claim that they love so much. This is very much in line with all of the social justice activists that we have seen. They love to talk on Twitter. They love to tell you how much they are going to support something. But when that very thing needs the actual support, these people are nowhere to be found, and Snow White is going down as an all-time box office disaster, and no one deserves it more than Rachel Zegler and Disney. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you go check out metapcs.com. Use the promo code 199 if you're interested in a PC, if a laptop, custom build, pre-build, whatever you're looking for, they have it over there. They'll take care of you. Veteran-owned, operates in the US of A. Have a great day, and we will talk to you later.